Welcome back to the second episode of Box Bros with me, Dave.
With me, Harshal.
With me, Alfie.
Oh,
welcome,
boy.
welcome. I hope you enjoyed the first one. We hope you enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, and we have got a packed full agenda for you today. Alfie, go through some of the things that we're going to be talking about, and Dave too.
We're going to cover off, first of all, the Cadillac lineup, how we think they're going to perform, Checo and Bottas, and who we think will get the better of each other. Then we're going to go over to Alpine and Franco. Was it the right decision to swap them out for Dillon, or was Dillon a better suit and getting more out of the car? And then we're going to go over to, we're going to talk about predictions, who can bring the fight to McLaren, and then we're going to give our predictions for this weekend.
Okay, let's go. Let's get us started, Dave. Let's speak about the first
straight into Cadillac. I think Cadillac have made the best choice they can there. You've got two really experienced drivers. Perez, obviously, for the money that he's going to bring into the team and help them along the way, and Bottas. They are both the best.
Greedy.
Yeah,
greedy. That Mexican money. Oh, that's gonna taste so good for Cadillac, man.
They are. They're going to be getting a lot of tacos, aren't they?
Their title name will be Kit Kat Cadillac.
Oh yeah, Kit Kat. Would you be surprised? I mean, obviously McLaren have now partnered up with MasterCard for the headline sponsor. So next year, I think
is there?
Well, that's it. You would not be surprised if you hear like Cadillac Kit Kat team or some shit. Yeah. Kit Kat Cadillac. I mean,
I think it's definitely the right driver pairing. But in my eyes, they were both awesome number two drivers when they were. So it is going to be the fight of which is the best number two. I think that's a clear cut scene in my eyes. Anyway, Bottas is the better of the two drivers.
Yeah,
but they both bring a lot of experience.
Even as a Red Bull fan, I agree. And the reason why is I appreciate Bottas more for the consistency that he had shown at Mercedes when I compare it to the consistency Perez had shown. And that doesn't mean that Perez isn't a good driver. When we saw him at Racing Point, also known as the fake Mercedes, pink Mercedes, that's the one. He was unbelievable. And for the first couple of seasons at Red Bull, he won Max. He gave Max that opportunity for Abu Dhabi 2021 to even be set up, you know?
Yeah.
As controversial as that is. But I think the spiral that he's had, especially for his confidence, whether it's the car or the team or whatever, I fancy Valtteri Bottas to do better than Perez. But I'm hopeful that they both do a good job. Yeah. I don't want to see either of them do bad. It's the same sort of way that I felt about maybe Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
At the start of the season. Like, great person, really wanted him to do well. Unfortunately, it hasn't manifested into reality this year, but I mean, we can only hope that you know, something similar happens, or maybe indifferent for Bottas and Perez.
Yeah.
What about you, Alf?
Well, personally, I think if you look at Bottas, his race pace and racecraft, it's not amazing if you look at it in that sense. But on Saturday, I expect him to get the best out of Perez. Perez has always been more working up his way through the field. Perez usually, he's got good racecraft. I'll give him that. And he slacks off a bit in qualifying, but he makes up of it with his race pace.
Tire management.
Did a few recovery Pardon?
Tire management king is what they call him.
Yeah. But it's also coming down to if there's any crazy races, like say Brazil from 24, a Silverstone from this year, Perez is going to be there because he's going to be able to pick up the pieces rather than Bottas. Because I think Bottas, he's always been solid. He's never had too many big expectations. You can't expect anything big of Valtteri, but I think of Checo, you can expect him to be in the places. Say that there's a P8 or P6. They won't get higher than 5th, I don't think, next year in a crazy race, but I think he'll be there to pick the places up for them. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're not going to come in and start challenging. They're not going to do a brawn. They're going to come in and take titles straight away. But I mean, Cadillac have already decided that their number one driver is anyway. They're putting Perez as number one, I believe.
Oh, have they?
I think because he's got a 2+1 contract, and I'm not sure what Bottas is 100% yet, but I know Perez has got a 2-year +1.
Wow, he's going to be like 40 by the time he's done. Well, he's 36 now, probably, isn't
he? Yeah,
he's getting on. Yeah, well, he's not. I mean, he's no Alonso, is he? But
no.
Alonso's longer than anyone's existed at this point. He's going to be an OG until.
But that's his Mediterranean diet that's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife Nan, who's she's Italian, she's 97. So it's
Oh,
it's the way of life, in it, all that olive oil and
yeah. She's got to get to that century, man.
yeah.
She might be the only person who might genuinely outlive Fernando Alonso at this point. Do you know what I mean? No, it's good. I'm excited. I'm genuinely excited next year. I think it's going to be good. I think Cadillac coming into Formula One is going to be so good for the fan base and the exposure that Formula One gets, considering obviously American-based team, American heritage, for a lack of a better word. But I think North America are obviously going to love it. American team, we've already got what, 3 races? You've got Vegas, Circuit of the Americas,
Miami.
and
Miami,
Miami,
yeah.
of course. How can I forget? So I think it'll be interesting. I think
Yeah,
from a business point of view, which not a lot of people care about, anyways, but I thought it's worth mentioning. They've not played it any better. They've got Sergio Perez in there. He's going to cover off the entire Latin and Southern America fan
yeah.
base. He's going to bring in so much merch. Everyone's going to be so happy to see him there,
Yeah.
especially the Mexican people are so nice as well, and like they are like so passionate. Like everyone who's ever gone to the Mexican Grand Prix told me, "Harsh, I'll go to the
Speaking
Mexican
about that
Grand
though,
Prix."
one of my friends is out on holiday in Mexico, and he saw someone wearing a Checo cap, and they just said they love him
Yeah,
out there.
he's
But
probably the
he's a
goat,
legend
innit?
over there.
Yeah, he's like
So
the Man United Chicharito, if you guys remember
yeah,
him. Hernandez Chicharito. Yeah, that's him. That's for sports, isn't it? So
played for us as well.
who do you support?
West Ham.
Oh, I was born in Upton Park. You
Oh,
probably
what?
don't know where that is,
Yeah, I
but
do. Old
yeah.
ground.
So yeah, Old Bulling Ground. I was 5 minutes away from Green Street.
Jesus.
Ah, small world. But I can't even say that they're my second team in football because they're horrendous right now as well. So being a Man United fan, having a second team as West Ham, and then supporting Red Bull Racing, can it
Oh,
get any worse?
2-1 down to Grimsby.
Okay, moving on to the next one.
I am a Man United fan as well.
I've
Well,
got one
I
last
haven't
point
Oh,
about
followed
are
it in
you?
Cadillac though.
years. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
United fan as well. So
See, this is why it worked well. See, we can put our Formula One differences to a side and all cry over Man United
I've got one
at
last
the
point for
same time.
Cadillac though.
Mm-mm.
You see, they put two experienced drivers together. You're going to put two experienced drivers in for a reason. They've not done it to, well, they've done it so they can have a strong base. But also, say you put you rookies in that car, they're not going to have to set a car up. They're not going to have to give feedback. If they're crashing all the time, there's going to be no data. Well, that's funny talking about crashing, considering that's what Checo's known for. But you put them together,
Yeah.
and I think you get good data in the car,
but
and that'll
that's
bring.
exactly why they've put two drivers like that in
Yeah,
there. Is
I mean,
purely
I
for the
thought they'd go for
feedback
100%.
Zhou
of.
at some point.
Can we imagine if they put someone like Doohan on? Imagine if Cadillac came in this year, but they had Doohan as a starting driver, someone
Or
that's
Mick
And
Schumacher, which was
Sargent.
the first
spoken
two
about a
tracks
lot.
that he have
Yeah.
no experience on whatsoever, and they're coming back
Yeah.
and he's like, well, I didn't really know how it's supposed to handle around that corner, or
And Alfie raises a really good point about that, to be honest. I mean, you need to have experience, especially if you're coming in new. You need all the data that you can get, and you need to have reliable drivers, irrespective of the stereotype of, well, not a stereotype, but the way that he's seen. Perez is seen when it comes to his race performance and pace. But what was it? I think there was a stat which was like they've got over 500 races between them in experiences.
yeah.
That's nuts. That's 500 race weekends. That's the thousands of kilometers, thousands and thousands. So I'm just let's be hopeful. Let's give our predictions on that. Where do we think they finish in the constructors next year, and the highest position their team or a driver from their team gets in any race?
Constructors, I think they're going to be like bottom end to mid, so P7 maybe, P8,
Ooh, that's
P7.
ambitious. Okay.
I don't see that personally.
But you've got Audi coming in as well. Plus, there's 11. Oh, yeah, actually, there's 11 teams now, isn't there? So yeah, P8 to P7. I'm thinking.
P7. Yeah.
I'm thinking more though. I think they'll finish in P9. I think they'll be better than Haas because Haas coming into regulations without their own sim.
Yeah. We forget about Haas because they are American, aren't they? But like
Yeah.
they Haas were like they are the Drive to Survive team because they were spoken about non-stop when I started watching Drive to Survive years back. It was Roman Grosjean at that moment in time.
Oh,
It's because
crash.
Gunther was such good television.
Oh, unreal! He's doing stand-up
I've got to
shows
go ring
across the
Gene
UK.
again. I've got to go ring Gene again.
Yeah, he didn't care. Did not care.
But carry on from that point with Doohan. Do you think putting Colapinto into that Alpine was the best decision for Alpine, or do you think Doohan could get more out of the car than Colapinto?
Ooh.
I mean,
I'm
I think so. Colapinto went in. Durham went into it with. So what my mate at Alpine told me is they had a brand new chassis that they designed for this year, but with financial struggles and everything, they only had one chassis. When Durham binned it in Suzuka, it was Suzuka who binned it in, won it really fast.
Yeah, and he said he could. He said he could go down the straight.
Go without the DRS, without shutting the DRS off.
Yeah, because he
going
did
around
in
the
Brazil.
corner. He wrote the chassis off then, so they put a heavier like milk float chassis on there from last year. So Colapinto hasn't got any sort of chance of proving himself compared to what Doing had the chance of doing. So I think that's why they've been a little bit more lenient in knowing that, all right, he's gone in, he's in a heavier chassis now. We're not, even though they said we don't want him to crash, we want him to score
South American
points.
backing helps that as well.
Yeah, he also he's coming with a lot of money backing him as well. And
they told Dylan to do on.
Yeah,
unintended.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more.
No, literally. I mean, I'm happy that. Do you know what? This is a tough one because I always like to give the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, I don't work in Formula One, so I don't understand the external pressures that are out there. I can't imagine, with respect, Flavio Briatore breathing down anyone's neck being helpful for any driver at any point in time.
Or comfortable.
At all. But what I will say is it reminds me of the situation with Liam Lawson, and I hold firm on the fact that I would have said Yuki Tsunoda at the beginning of the year should have been in the Red Bull seat in the first place, not Liam Lawson. But when Liam Lawson was given the opportunity for Red Bull to then sack him off that early on, doesn't give a driver enough time to even prove themselves.
Yeah.
And
well, coming on to that point of proving himself, though, it's looking like he's in with a good shout of taking his seat back and proving his worth next year.
Who's that, Liam Lawson?
That's the rumours at the minute and how it's looking. It's between him and Isaac.
I mean, I'd probably fancy Isaac. But on that point about Doohan and Colapinto, I would have said it was too early to get rid of Doohan. Like, just what was it? Was it 6 races?
I said before doing our pre-season, I said he's only got a 6 race. He's got a 6 race contract, and Miami was his last race.
Oh, to be fair, then, I mean, okay, this is going to be controversial. They should have gotten rid of Doohan after he proved that he didn't have it within him to be able to perform at that level. That doesn't mean he's not a bad driver. He just, whatever it may be. But I don't think Franco Colapinto was the correct replacement.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been. I don't think.
If you're gonna, sorry, Karen.
I don't think you've had one rookie that's not really done you well. Try and get someone with a bit of experience. I mean, even if you just tried poaching Bottas for the rest of the season or something,
would have been fine.
It would have made more sense. Somebody that knows how to drive a car, that's had the experience around these tracks, that knows he's been in F1 a long time. Then you do have to give a rookie that time to shine and learn the ropes. But it's a cutthroat industry at the moment, isn't it, with these rookies and how they get in the 2 races for Lawson was absolutely brutal.
That was a joke. I mean, in hindsight, though, if we take a small detour, I think Christian Horner leaving Red Bull was, in the short term, maybe definitely damaging, especially for like team morale and whatnot. Considering
it's a lot nicer to work there without him.
I can imagine.
But there you go. That's my point, right? Like, in the long term, I think it will pay off, and Red Bull will. I would rather Red Bull consistently, and this sounds so Ferrari-esque, but I would rather Red Bull not win the constructors every year, but be winning races and have winning drivers and be on the podium and I love Max, and everyone knows that, and I love Red Bull, but it just being the Max Verstappen show, because at some point in time, people will come to a realization that Max Verstappen, it can't just be the Max Verstappen show.
Yeah.
And it's going to be damaging for anyone. And that doesn't mean that it's not Max Verstappen's fault that he's that good of a damn driver. Do you know what I mean? That's just what it is.
The only issue with that is why it became the Verstappen show was an upgrade they put on in Spain 2023. And Checo complained. And the only reason...
That's it. Yeah. I saw reports of that.
They didn't do anything. The car is how it is now because he kept winning.
Yeah,
because
it keeps moving in Verstappen's direction of feedback, because that's I remember specifically there was a report or article that I spoke about on TikTok, and at that moment in time, that's when Norris, etc., and McLaren really starting closing the gap, and I think they might have even won their first race. But it might have been earlier. But that Perez did report on that, and he said these developments and these upgrades, they aren't working. But
Yeah,
obviously, I think
and
it
then
was
obviously
more
when you're
like
that
this,
far,
and then it just went
yeah,
like that between Perez and Verstappen. So
and when you're that far into a cycle of regulations, you're not going to redesign a car just to give a second driver. You're going to put everything onto the 26 car, brand new chassis, brand new engine. Is going to come together and it'll be a more stable car for a second driver.
But I think this is one of the reasons why, another one of the reasons why they booted Horner was because he put all his eggs in one basket. He didn't design a car for Max, but he designed it around Max, he let them design it around Max. Didn't take on Chico's advice or anything like that.
I mean, I wouldn't say
And
they designed it around Max fully. I'd say they took his characteristics into mind, but always had Checo's. So Checo wanted a certain field in the car that could be achieved through setup if it was in the right window. And then you could
I
see when he
think,
had it in the right window, he
yeah.
could do well. But then I think obviously when that upgrade came on, it just ruined everything, and then he didn't really have a chance from there. And they're
But
not really gonna.
we can see it's paying off though, can't we? Right now with Laurent Mekies. I mean, even like I'm being optimistic here, but from what I've seen from Yuki in general, obviously he's still got a long way to go. But even in practice sessions,
Seventh.
exactly. Like irrespective of what people say, like he's done better in qualifying. Like you can that expectation that you have of him, for
Yeah.
me, if I saw him 15th to 20th, I'm like, oh, fine. But now, if I see him 15th to 20th, I'd be disappointed, because I now think, because, it went from maybe, let's say, 80-20 Verstappen to Yuki to maybe 75-25 or 70-30, but it counts for something. And it's like, if there is a leveling of the playing field in terms of car setup, not ability, obviously, I think everyone knows that that's Max is up there. Um, I'm excited though. I'm excited for the future of what Red Bull can hold,
Yeah.
and I pray to God that Verstappen doesn't leave at the end of next year.
I don't think he will, because of the talk and what I know and what I'm allowed to give out is they're confident with the engine. Helmet said he's counting on the Max being at the front and winning a title next year.
Oh, helmet. I'll
But
tell you one
no,
thing
but
about
think
this,
about it.
Alf.
Helmet.
I'll tell you one thing, Alf.
Yeah.
At the start of, before the start of this season, there was a report, and it was the head of engineering at Red Bull promised Christian Horner this year's World Championship and constructors, and look how that's paid off.
Oh no, that
That
was
doesn't mean
Honda.
I'm
That
not
was Honda.
optimistic, but I think I really like Helmut Marko. Yeah, I just can't believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
I mean, the person that said that, it wasn't the Red Bull. It was the top guy. Honda promised Horner both titles at the beginning of the
That's
season.
it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And he's not really. He doesn't have any say in it. So how's he supposed to know an engine? Yeah, in that
False
foreign
promises.
regulations, that's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
But also the thing is, the talk Helmet. When as much as people don't like Helmet, and he's very outspoken. Well, he's not outspoken. He can be an idiot. He's
Yeah.
very rarely wrong with what he says, though, isn't he? Sometimes when it
but
comes to that.
I still think Max is going to go to Aston Martin, because when they had the Suzuka Japan, the fun day where they were all driving around the streets,
See you soon.
Max is goodbye for now to Honda. He
Yeah.
said to me
Yeah,
that
but I
just
don't.
says
I just don't see it, because the talk is Honda, not Honda. Aston Martin are gonna they'll have a good chassis, but Newey's expecting not to be winning titles because of an engine loss. Because that engine, it's not the same Honda Red Bull lads. All the Honda workers mainly gone over to Red Bull, and a lot of the Mercedes people have gone over to Red Bull. And Red Bull, and Mekki said this himself, he's confident we've got an engine, from what he's seen on the sims, that can provide a winning car to Max to get the title, and hopefully get the constructor second drivers capable of doing it. Well, he should be capable of it, because it's going to be a brand new car. Theoretically, there should be no issues, but we'll see until testing. But I think it will be between us, Mercedes. I don't see Ferrari if they can get it, but I know they've got a few ERS issues at the end of the streets, but like the McLaren, where I know the Red Bull's not really Well, it did, but from what I know, it's been fixed.
I don't. The only thing I see with the Red Bulls when they talk about sims though is Yuki Tsunoda came out saying, "Yeah, I tested the RB in the sims and everything before he took Lawson's seat, and he's like, I'm really confident I can drive it really well." Came in
Yeah,
and he didn't. He didn't do any
yeah, but
good.
that was just him because think about it. He did well in Suzuka. He was sixth, fifth, and like 12th in practice. But then when he go into qualifying, he had a snap of oversteer, which just ruined him. So if you think about it, it wasn't that. And then he goes to look at Imola. He was good into Imola. Imola finished his confidence, and I think it's a new sim, and it was hooked up and it did a. I'm not going to
It's a
say where, but
confidence-based sport, though, isn't it? Really and truly. I mean,
yeah, but it did two
you know
sims. I'm
what
not going
happens.
to say
I
where,
think
but it did really well.
what finished off Sergio Perez last year was Monaco. That accident was horrific.
Yeah.
Like both of the Hasses literally just going hello gorgeous, and they just like tunneled into him. That can do like Monaco as well. First lap, I mean, it's his own fault for qualifying, like you know, like exclamation mark, apostrophe, speech marks. But it is what it is. I mean, it is 100% a confidence-based sport, but I think when you step into that Red Bull seat, you need to accept beforehand that if Red Bull come calling, to never expect to be challenging Max. And Helmut has said this, and Alf, you probably know this better than anyone. No one should go to Red Bull expecting to be level with Max or beating Max. That's not what they're there for. Now, that can be seen as a problem. That can be seen as a solution because if
That's a
you,
problem for say the likes of Russell
well,
or
exactly, and it's a
Leclerc.
problem for the likes of Oscar Piastri because you
Yeah.
would rather be a more evenly matched first place driver at McLaren than a definite second place driver at Red Bull.
Yeah, but
You know.
coming on to that, that is perfect for a Lawson, a Hadjar, because they'll take the odd race win, and Red Bull would let them have the odd race win. But the podiums they'll get if his car's there, and then also I think if you come on to that point again, talking about the confidence. When you have a new car beneath you, you're gonna have confidence, and I think that's what it comes down to in that car.
Hopefully.
Could you imagine if Piastri went to Red Bull, the arguments that would be between Mark Webber and Jos Verstappen?
Mate.
Though,
Drive to Survive would need to make a spin-off of just Red Bull.
Yeah.
Just Red Bull, these guys have all lost their wings.
But you think about it, Red Bull having Max
Lost
as
your
their number
wings,
one.
that's it.
You think about
Say that
Red Bull
again.
having Max as their number one, no one challenging. It's smart because they've been there with Vettel and Webber. And look how that
Yeah,
ended
but
up.
it's what you want. It's actually what you want. That's going to make Max better, if anything. Or if anything, if like, for example, right, if Oscar Piastri came in, like, for example, I've always been a big fan of Oscar Piastri. I think he's so level-headed, and he doesn't complain. He just gets on with it. And if he messes up, he just tries again better. If Oscar Piastri, for example, came to that second seat at Red Bull and both cars were exactly how they are. So right now, as I was mentioning, there's not 80-20, 70-25. Imagine if it's more of a 60-40 or 50-50 or whatever it is. That not only gives Max the opportunity to really lay the foundations for what an amazing driver he is and will always be, but it gives Oscar Piastri the opportunity to be next to someone who is unbelievable and really level up or even show what he's truly made out of.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
they also,
like
the other
it's
thing
a
is,
challenge that I would. I mean, if I want to be a successful person, and if I really care, or even if I care less about my career, but I care more about being successful and getting the most out of the opportunity, it's what Charles Leclerc would do. You know, Leclerc's probably not seeing Lewis as competition right now because he's saying this guy's one of the greatest of all time. Let me learn everything I can. It's a shame that it's at Ferrari, but if it was at another team like Mercedes or like McLaren, I can guarantee you they would be up there every single race.
Yeah.
but I also think if
So
you put any other driver in that car, Max, I don't think anybody gets the better of him. You put any car driver in that Red Bull on this current day, nobody.
yeah, because it feels a different way, doesn't it? It just
Yeah, but
like
I
you
think if
just
you
know
put him
how
in
it
that
works.
McLaren, I think if you put him in that McLaren, he'll beat Oscar and Lando as well.
Wow.
Because it
I
will
don't
just
think
be
by I don't
2023
think
again.
I don't think by a lot though. I don't think that's a problem for his the thing I'm struggling with understanding is yes, Max has a lot of talent, but I don't know how much on a gauge I can put that up against the likes of when you compare Lewis Hamilton being at Mercedes for 12 years and then 14 races in still struggling to cope with the car, obviously a car is going to feel different. You know, even when it comes to the smallest things, like the way that your steering wheel looks, obviously you can change that and whatnot. The way that your seat feels, the chassis around you, the way the suspension works and whatnot. You know, all of those
Well,
small things, even if they're a tenth of a second, you know, all
yeah.
of those can add up. And as much as I think Max has definitely got it, and he'll probably still be challenging up there, I would find it hard to believe that he would do it by greatest of margins and put everyone to bed. I think
No,
that's
obviously not. But
arrogance
I
and
think if you
confidence
put him in that car,
speaking.
he'd take it by like a tenth or a couple of thousand. But I think you give him a whole season in that car, he'd gradually build that gap
Yeah,
up.
for sure, for sure.
Anyway, speaking about that, what are your predictions for
Oh, we've got to
Zandvoort?
be who's going to bring the fight to McLaren.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who do you think who's going to try and take us down? I don't think there's going to be much. I think this season, I mean, with
You've got
300
both
points
titles
ahead.
wrapped up, so I think the only chance anyone's got is in a sprint because your tyres wear is just amazing. I can see Max getting a sprint win.
That tire wear, there isn't something right. I just can't figure it out.
So I read
Well,
somewhere about it's the suspension or something. So
yeah,
they've literally
and
got no suspension at all. So that it's just they're not having any wear on the tires because of this. They've got the suspension set so rigid.
God.
But
yeah, but next year's regulations that there's something changing. So your tyre wear,
MOM.
yeah, get mom.
yeah,
Mom's coming in.
your
What does it
tyre
even
wear
DRS is
mean
you
gone.
won't
again?
have
What
another
does it
season
mean?
with tyre wear like
Oh,
that.
What does MOM stand for?
manual override mode.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what it is.
Manual override mode. So I
Yeah,
think it
I
is
turned your
basically
mom.
like I
He
think it
turned
is
his.
DRS still, but you got to do it yourself. I
Yeah,
don't
Verstappen turned his mum on. Yeah,
but who do you
that's gonna be
Harsha? Who do you
clipped.
think? Who do you think will take the fight to McLaren? There's going to be one driver that's not McLaren that will win one race this season.
I'm gonna be unbiased. Who do you think is gonna take the fight to McLaren for next year?
No, this year. I'm talking about who
Oh, for
one
this
driver that will
year,
get it. Yeah, no,
no one's taking the fight to McLaren.
no. I'm
McLaren
talking
are
about
done.
they can beat him
They
in
could fall
qualifying. They can
asleep.
get a pole against them. I'm talking they can get pole.
Oh,
They
I mean
can.
that's one driver. That's obviously Max, but I think it hurts me because I really wanted Ferrari to do well. Like, you know, I'm a Formula One fan before I am a proper, like, whatever it is. You have to be a Formula, like, last year, man, god damn. The way in which 7 points, if it wasn't for that Sainz DNF in Baku against Perez, going for that P2, P3, imagine,
But also
Ferrari
thinking
would
about
have been
that
constructors
signs.
last year.
Thinking about that signs and Checo crash. If that hadn't happened, Checo would have probably been on the podium, got his confidence
And
back, and he
retain
could
his
have been.
contract. What a butterfly effect, huh? Yeah, you're
No,
right.
and he would have got podium. He'd have got his confidence back. Max, look at the end of that season. He won Qatar. He kept the McLarens behind in Vegas. He did Brazil. Like at the end of the year, he was unreal. At the end of that season, and he was winning races with Checo on the points. Red Bull could have been with the constructors. That's the butterfly effect of him losing his confidence again.
It is. What an effect that was. But to be honest, this season is over as well as, I mean, I don't want to say it's over, but like, who's going to improve the most?
Well,
I mean,
nobody. Everyone's focused on 26.
well,
I
that's
mean,
it. I
the
mean,
Aston Martins are up in their game, and
Aston
apparently,
Martin's up in their game, yeah, for sure.
Nuri's
Yeah,
not
but they're
having.
the only team. They're
Nuri's
the only
definitely
team that
whispering
are
in somebody's
developing now,
ears.
really.
Nuri's definitely whispering in somebody's ears, telling them, "Right, you want to have a play around with this or do something there," because how they've come on in the last like
Oh,
2 or 3
100%.
races, and
100%. They
especially
have
today. What was it? Alonso
P2
was
Alonso.
0.087 seconds behind Norris.
But
He
they're
was.
also the only team that's still developing. Nobody else is developing really, apart from Red Bull.
And plus, it's because of the money they've got. It's like the Man City, innit? Like, they've just got unlimited money. Lawrence Stroll literally went to him and said, how much?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a price.
Did a Newcastle
That's not
takeover.
enough. I'll give you a percentage of the company. Like this, I mean, he
Well,
is
that was
by far the biggest. I'm not going to say the word, but he is the biggest fool in Formula One from a strategic
just
perspective.
throwing
Because
money everywhere.
you have got so much money, and I'll tell you what, it will fix problems. But you've got your son in the car.
It will
Yeah.
fix problems short term.
You've got your
long
son
term,
and a 43-year-old man who's
I mean,
got
yeah.
acres of loads of experience.
Him
People
giving
think about it,
giving
though.
Nui shares in the company as well. That didn't come into the cost cap. in to do with wages and everything. So, but him by doing that, that's a little loophole that he's gotten.
Well, exactly.
Right,
So more
give right, I'll
upgrades, more
chuck you a bit of the thing. Oh, we've saved a bit of money there. Look, I won't pay you as much as I'm paying everyone else, but look, you've got a chunk of it. You've got a chunk of Aston Martin F1 team.
Yeah.
I'll buy you your yacht that you want to go sailing around on the world in, or
There you
it's
go. Yeah, exactly. You want to
Think
freeload
about
off
it
me?
though.
Yeah, don't worry.
Think about him throwing money in. It will help him out short term, but long term they might be in a bit of trouble.
I mean,
Long term, I think
Newey's
Aston
quite
Martin
old
are
as
the
well, isn't
play.
he? Newey's not going to be around designing. Newey wanted to retire after Red Bull. He
Newey's
was
got 2 years in him,
contemplating.
I think.
He was contemplating getting on his yacht or building his yacht and sailing around the world when he was going to leave Red Bull.
Yeah, I've got a hot take on that though. I think Newey stays for 2 years, sees if
Build
his
it.
upgrades and developments work, and then if they do work, he stays until the end of the regs, and if they don't, then he leaves halfway through.
Yeah. Building on from that hot take, predictions for this weekend.
So, what about worst team? Who's going to perform worst this weekend?
You start off, Dave.
It's got to be Alpine. That's just.
I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works and disagree with you. I'm gonna go and say, God damn, I'm gonna go and say Haas purely because Gasly might come well if we've got rain.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But then
also
again,
agree
you've
with.
got Ocon at Haas, so
I also agree. I think it'll be Haas. I don't think Behrman's been good since Silverstone. Really, he's ghosted, and before that, he ghosted from Bahrain. And I think Ocon's going to be there to do the whole job. And if there's a wet race, which 99% sure it's going to be a wet race,
oh,
he's going to be there to pick up the pieces. I think to get
music
a
to my
few. He
ears.
won't actually. No, he won't be there to get all the pieces. I think Gasly will be in front of him, both Williams and potentially Yuki.
I think we're going to have a wet practice session 3, a wet qualifying, but I think the weather's saying it's going to clear up for Sunday, from what I've seen from a couple of
Hopefully it doesn't.
forecasts already. So we're going to have a nice dry
Max
race,
wants
hopefully.
rain though.
Oh, that's it. It's going to rain, and it's going to rain. Max wants to rain. It's going to rain.
The first time he's
And it's in his backyard as well.
Rain.
So of course it
He'll
will
be on
rain.
to the
First
Dutch government, right? Get the cloud seeding going. We want rain.
Yeah, it's like Dubai over here. To be fair, it'll be helpful in qualifying though. What was the stat? The last 4 races have been won by the person who was the pole sitter in qualifying.
Right.
So since its intro in 2021. So I mean,
right.
If anything, you just know how ironic it is that it's like out of all years, it'll be this year where that's not the case, especially.
I think it's something as well as 67% chance of safety cars as well, based on the last 2 races here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though, that looks bigger though. Like genuinely, that looks like a bigger chance. Like how many red flags? Can you tell me who was it? Was it raining in FP1 or 2?
No rain
So
at all.
all of these crashes were just.
It was quite windy apparently, so that's
must be the wind, not the water. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a new
But
one.
as well, the commentator said that Lance avoided 2 cars to go. I mean, like the Ferraris were going around the apex of that corner, but the way he went to avoid them, and then he just forgot to steer. He just forgot to turn, and then locked up at the last minute, and then plowed into the barriers. And then I'm waiting for
this is real life.
I'm waiting for it now as well to be. Oh, I've hurt my wrist. I can't race again, and.
In goes Drogovic.
Good.
Well, no, because he'll sit through qualifying, and then at the end of qualifying, going, "Oh no, I can't race." And then, I mean, that was a bad call, wasn't it?
I can't be bothered. Oh, it's okay, Sam. Don't worry. We own this shit.
Yeah. Anyways, build on to that. What's the next category?
Yeah, surprise team.
Would you like?
Who do you think is going to do surprisingly well?
I'm gonna go Sauber again.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. The momentum that they've got, it just feels so raw and so good. Like it feels like a Bortoletto sneaky P6 or a Hulkenberg sneaky P5, P7, P8 if it's raining in the right time. You know, they're doing what George Russell is doing when Lando Norris or Piastri or Verstappen get into a bit of an incident, but for the midfield teams. You know, like they're just, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they've put into that car. Maybe they put some like fairy dust. I don't know.
Magic.
Facts.
Who do you think will be the surprise team?
The surprise team. I mean, from what I've seen already with Ferrari, I mean, I'd like to see them surprise everybody and come around and do something decent.
Yeah. Is that your bet locked in?
Yeah, I'll
Thanks for
say
leaving me.
Ferrari. We've seen them do really these first two sessions. They were doing absolutely appalling. What were they? I mean, Lewis got
P14 and 15.
P6 and 8 in FP2, but yeah, the first session 14 and 15 was. I mean, Lewis spun twice, once in both session as well.
Do you hear what Leclerc said in the interview after?
No,
He said this was a very, 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 very bad session, probably worst of the entire season, and it's a wake up. It's sobering because it's the first race of the second half of the season.
and to where he was in the last race at the end of the season. All right, yeah, he didn't finish that as well as he started, but to go from running the car like that and then but it is only practice. This is what I keep telling myself. It is only a practice session. Tomorrow's where tomorrow we'll start seeing a few more long runs and then
But
qualify.
maybe, because even then we can't see real pace if it's raining, because you've got nothing to compare the data against. It's
Yeah,
literally who just got the biggest balls, like who
Yeah.
can actually be bothered to put their car into. I mean, and by the way, that there's crashes. This feels like a European version of Sao Paulo, like
yeah.
which I'm here for, but
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't bring me with a lot of confidence, and I'm sure it won't bring the drivers any confidence either.
Getting on to that point, I think my surprise team is going to be Williams. I can see a P7, P6. I think the way they've been recently will be a good surprise for Albon. And I think that it'll be a double Williams points.
That's what I've got on my bingo for this week as well. Double Williams points.
I hope
What's the
so.
next category then?
I want to see
We're
Sainz do well.
good surprise driver. Which driver is going to surprise us with some good
You start off,
driving?
Dave.
Um, I'd like to see Behrman do better than he has been doing. Where's he finished the last few races? 11th was his
Yeah.
race qualified. I'd like to see him actually get into the points this time.
For me, I think it's a hot take, but you look Liam Lawson. You look at his recent trajectory. Last 4 races, Hadjar's got 1 point. Lawson's had 15. Do you know how insane that is? And he's recovered from that
That's P4,
mental
basically.
breakdown at Red Bull. And I think he's going to comfortably beat Hadjar. I think he won't qualify by about 1/10.5 to 2 tenths. And I think he'll get the better from him in the race as well and score points. And I think he will finish this weekend. There's 1 point separating them in the championship. I think he'll overtake him in the championship.
I'm gonna go. Give me Antonelli.
Yeah?
Yeah. Purely because I want him to do well. I mean, I saw the guy tearing up. That broke my heart. An 18-year-old kid, like.
Yeah.
That's where it's wrong because it's an 18-year-old kid in
Yeah.
a Mercedes Formula One car. But irrespective, I just want to see him do well. I think it filled me up with so much happiness when I saw him get P4 in that first race in Australia. P4 or P5, one of the two. And then he
Yeah.
got his first podium of the season as well. Like, that fills me with hope. I just
Yeah.
want to see him do well, not have to think about anything and just, locked in.
He does have the potential. I think next year, once he's got all his school and everything out the way with as well, there'll be a bit more pressure off his shoulders and hopefully he can sort of like zone in a bit more. And
There's only 3 months between me and him.
yeah,
That's crazy. That is crazy. No. Isn't testing going to be slightly different next year? Isn't it like
It's going
in
to be
January?
behind doors.
starts off in January. Yeah, January, February, and then March. I think January is the only one behind locked doors, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, building on from that point. Who's going to be the biggest flop?
Yeah, who is
What
going to be
driver?
the biggest flop?
Like team or driver?
Driver.
Biggest driver flop.
Oh god damn!
I mean, I think I've got Max for a DNF. No, have I got Max for a DNF? No, have I got him in top 5?
Right, end the podcast. I don't want to hear this. End the podcast.
I'll see you later.
I think everybody voted against that.
So you're looking in then?
Who am I looking in for biggest flop?
These are all total up to like a
I'm still
championship
gonna say Max. I don't think the car. I don't think some. It's just I don't know. With that first incident of him going off at the end of FP1, something's up with that car. For him to on a practice start after the end of the session to go straight off onto the gravel and beach it like that. There's something's not going on with that car.
Yeah, you say that
Something.
though, but who can turn a car better around
Yeah,
overnight than Red Bull?
yeah, we do see. Now, was the new front wing on there?
Yeah.
On that first session, so in case they're just going to whip the old put a new an
No
old
real
front
wing,
wing on.
like they did in Silverstone in qualifying. He'll get pole and then he'll spin out because he ain't got a rear wing in the race.
Just because he can. I'm Max
Yeah.
Verstappen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and say George Russell. Just put it out there. I think Kimi will do better than George Russell, and everyone's going to be like, what's going on? Because it's Zandvort. I think George Russell's been under the radar for too long, and I don't think that can happen for too long.
Yeah.
You know? And it also add to the silly season. It add to the silly season drama of him not being able to secure a contract for next year.
It's always the way as well, isn't it? George Russell does nothing, comes P3. George Russell does nothing, comes P2.
Well, that's it. Let's change the plot. I'm sick of it now. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Speaking of Mercedes drivers, though, I think Kimi Antonelli's going to have a horrific weekend. He's out. He had no running well, barely. He had 4 laps, was it? 3 laps in P1. P2, he wasn't great. He was all right. And I think in the rain, I think he'll have a shunt in practice. He'll have no confidence in qualifying, and then he won't push the car in the race. I just don't see it this weekend, unfortunately.
Not a bad shout.
What's next? Big
poll predictions. Is this for qualifying or
Are we going to say it's going to be a wet qualifying or a dry qualifying?
Doesn't matter.
I think qualifying is going to be wet, but
all right, you can start then first. Harshaw, Saka.
Thanks for the full name. I'm gonna
got to plug the TikTok.
That's it, of course. I liked what you did there in the videos, by the way. The little ads.
Thank you, mate.
They were nice. I'm gonna go and say, considering it's rain, I'm gonna go Verstappen P1, Piastri P2, and George Russell P3.
I can see that. Do you want me to go next, Dave?
Yeah, you can go next. Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna start from P. I'm gonna start off with pole. Max Verstappen in the rain. I think it's got everything for him dunking 4 temps on somebody, and then they'll end up his inters will get ripped. Inters will get absolutely ripped in the race, and he'll finish like 4th.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think second will be Lando.
Okay.
Third, I think in qualifying, I'm gonna go with a surprise. Pierre Gasly.
Oh, I like that though.
P3.
That's got a bit of flavour to it. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, Dave?
I'm going to go for pole. Oscar Piastri in pole.
Oh,
I think Piastri's going to get pole. I don't think Norris is going to do as good as him. P2, I'm going to think is, I'm going to say out there Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
I'm going to say he's going to get P2 and
in the rain.
I just think it's going to be surprising tomorrow. And
I don't know. Maybe we'll see our words.
And Norris P3. I mean, it might not even rain yet. It might not even rain. It was supposed to rain. We were told 80 to 95% rain all weekend, and we've had not a drop yet.
If it doesn't rain, Alfie's P3 for Gasly's not going to look so well at the end of the day.
It'll be a McLaren front row lockout.
Yeah. And we were told as well, I think it was in FP2, wasn't it? Before Lance Stroll crashed, rain comes in 14 minutes. Lance Stroll crashes, we wait 20 minutes to get the track clear, and there was no rain. Where's this rain? Right. Predictions in for Sunday, top 3.
Start first, Harshaw.
Harshaw.
I'll
take it. I'll take this. Norris, Piastri, Russell.
Alf, go ahead.
Presume it's to be a wet race. What the driver himself has been saying, he'd prefer a wet race. It might be delusional. It might be biased. I think Max Verstappen will do a Suzuka type drive and he'll win by like 2 seconds.
Okay.
I just think he'll get a safety car, he'll pit, and he'll just be safe from there. And in P2, Lando Norris. P3, Fernando Alonso.
Wow.
And in P4, I know P4 is, we should talk, well, it's not part of the thing. I think it'll be Gasly in P4.
You like that Gasly?
I've just got a feeling.
He's got that feeling. He's got that Friday feeling, huh? I'm going to go P3 Charles Leclerc, P2 Lando Norris, and the win goes to Oscar Piastri. I don't think Max Verstappen finishes on the podium.
Bold.
And that is heartbreaking, but I don't think the car's got the pace. He's got the pace. I remember how excited I was this time last year for when Zandvort happened, and then McLaren absolutely pummeled us, and Norris finished 20 seconds ahead of Verstappen, and I'm not ready for that, so I'm going to lower my expectations. I'm just going to lower my expectations, irrespective of what happens.
But that's our predictions. Hopefully we can get together for a small 10-minute thing tomorrow after qualifying, or 5 minutes, just do a little clip.
See what happens. Absolutely. Is that us done, I think?
I think so.
Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you for joining us for this this podcast, the second one, and we will catch you all in the next one. See you soon.
Take care.